their head forensics investigator, the guy they had run Oklahoma City and 9/11 cover-up. And he's caught with kiddie porn on his website. Or on his email. All they got to do is go into your email. Understand that, public. It comes out more than a third of the people on death row are innocent. And it turns out the prosecutors, right up in Williamson County, it's a new famous case, and I'm going to get that guy on. They knew he was innocent and wanted to put an innocent man in jail. And then when they found out he was totally innocent and there was proof, they worked for decades to suppress it. I mean, these people enjoy hurting innocents. Really evil people enjoy hurting innocents. Now, here's the big breaking news. And when I saw this, it just absolutely poleaxed me. And I had Steve Watson's headline changed during the last break because I don't have time to call him up and do it. See, Steve, Watson, Aaron, Kurt, great minds, wonderful people, better than I am on so many fronts. But they have the same problem I have. This stuff's so big, real tyranny, so wild and sensational, we all have governors to cut back our headline. And then we have the moles and people that say, oh, and the trolls that say, oh, we're exaggerating. 99% of the time, and I mean literally, we are actually holding back, and I've got to stop doing that. So I saw the headline, Ron Paul campaign, the future belongs to us. Well, I didn't go read that when I saw that headline. I'm like, oh, great, future belongs to us. You know, a play on words, as Obama says, winning the future, you know, for tyranny is his new campaign slogan. And then I went and read what Ron Paul actually said today. All they said is we're not going to fight and compete in those states because we don't have the money. But we've won delegates in many of these others. They really won Maine, Iowa. Those got cheated. That's all come out. The media keeps lying and saying he didn't win, even though they admit he did win in the fine print. He says they're still going to try to get the delegates and still try to contest things at the RNC, which is great, to inject issues. You win either way. And the media came out with a headline that he dropped out. Christian Science Monitor, Ron Paul effectively ends presidential campaign. No, he didn't. He said that we're not going to go into debt. And so we're going to let the grassroots campaign move forward from here. And Jesse Benton is quoted, said, let me be very clear, writes Chief Strategist Jesse Benton in the opening lines of a memo. Dr. Paul is not dropping out, suspending his campaign. That was what he put out yesterday. And I'm out doing a video shoot yesterday afternoon, and everybody's calling me going, he dropped out. It's all over the news. Rumors of his death have been greatly exaggerated, put it to you that way. This article's important. I've had the headline upgraded to Ron Paul not suspending campaign. It's a media hoax. It's at Infowars.com. Will you ask Kurt before he leaves for lunch? Will you ask him to red link that and to send it out on Twitter? Ron Paul not dropping out. It's a hoax. Ron Paul not suspending campaign. It's a media hoax is the headline. Okay, let's get that out to everybody, listeners. Will you please help me? Will you please go to Infowars.com? The problem is there's so many hoaxes. How do you deal with them? Okay, let's go to your phone calls. We'll go to Daryl, then Brandon, Brian, Derek, John, and many others. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231. And I've only covered about 25% of the news. I'll continue to smatter all this information in as we go. Let's go ahead and talk to Daryl in Georgia. You're on the air, Daryl. Go ahead.
Awesome. For starters, I must say thank you to you and your staff for not screening my phone call like most of these stations do.
Go ahead, sir.
I can't tell you nothing.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Awesome. Now, I can't tell you nothing that you don't already know about Ron Paul. I just want to say thank you to the people. We got this far without the media. They robbed us in 2008 because we didn't know how to play the game. Now that it's a new term, a new election. I apologize. A new campaign. You know, we knew we was not going to get any media play. So we're doing it the correct way. We're following the rules. We're getting the delegates. Turn off the TV, people. We all know the media is nothing but lies. Now, if with your permission, sir, I have a rally coming up in the state of Georgia. I would like to promote this if possible, sir.
Sure, go ahead. Tell us about your rally.
Awesome. The rally is called Take It to the Media. It's going to be at the CNN Center June 24th. You can look it up on Facebook. My name is Daryl Young from Loganville, Georgia. We already know the media will only broadcast what they want to. They are the one that brings in the drugs, sells the guns, launder all this fake money. but we are the ones that are treated like criminals. I am 27. I've dedicated 6 years of my life to the cause. The good fight goes on. Power to the people. Thank you for your time, sir.
God bless you. Hope folks get involved in that. And as Ron Paul said in his letter yesterday, they're just suspending fighting in those states with full-bore media and everything because he's not going to go into debt. Look, if you just joined us and you're a new listener, we knew he won Iowa. We knew he won Maine. Even the New York Times had to admit, yeah, he won, but the Republicans won't count the precincts he won. We had the proof they stole Iowa. They stole other states like Nevada. And so Paul says, I'll go the Electoral College way. I'll get the delegates. And so understand this. Whatever happens, we win because at least Ron Paul's been there injecting issues. And the Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan puppets, Obama and Romney, have been heavily affected by this now and have been exposed. I mean, Obama is in the news today saying J.P. Morgan is one of the best managed banks. I guess from a mafia perspective, Al Capone was one of the best managed mobsters. I guess Hitler was one of the best managed dictators. I mean, I guess brain cancers, one of the best managed cancers. I mean, what does that mean? This is the top of the New World Order. Of course, it's one of the best managed and above the law groups. Obama went on The View to say that. He's paid for by them, and so is Mitt Romney. Obama's gotten double the money from Bain Capital. Guess who used to run that? Mitt Romney. Than Mitt Romney has. We'll see what happens with Romney, but I think he's a complete ringer. I mean, he supported carbon taxes. He supported open borders. He supported gun control. Do I need to go on about Mitt Romney? He wrote Obamacare, and I've got all these Republicans saying, you got to get behind Mitt Romney. What's going to happen if Mitt Romney gets in is everybody's going to go to sleep for about 2 years like they did with Obama, thinking he's going to save us. And then everybody's going to wake up to that, and then the left's going to attack all the police state again. And then the right wing will think that if you're against the police state, you must be a leftist. I'm so sick of how they play that game. I just want freedom. Can you not figure that out? I don't want to be a slave. It's real simple. Let's go ahead and go to Brandon in Wisconsin. You're on the air.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for taking my call. I do have one of your listeners, longtime listeners, with full spectrum awareness, and just wanted to call it. Your previous guest was great, and this kind of segues into that. I have a business in Wisconsin, and one of my patrons approached me, and I've known him for a while, and he mentioned a story that was unfortunate that happened with DHS doing their undercover work in a bar. It was in our neighborhood, and he apparently his roommate, for lack of money, had to go and work for the DHS. And
stay there. I want to hear this story. Yeah, you didn't hang up, did you?
Nope.
Okay, good, because I heard a click. I want to hear this on the other side. Or I heard a crackle is more like it. Snap, crackle, pop. Yeah, everywhere. They've just got spies on taxpayer money sitting in bars listening to you. I mean, it's East Germany, folks. For a long time. All right, let's go back to Brandon. So, Brandon, tell us your TSA story. Homeland Security spy story, keeping us safe. Not from the
Department of Homeland Security, you mean?
Yes. So tell us your area. Tell us what happened in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and right before I do that, I just want to say to those new listeners, I'm one of the people that I've always got a nose for news, and I want to be objective about everything. So any of those trolls out there in blogosphere, I've pretty much vetted you on my own as much as I possibly could, and the negatives are mainly from wingnuts, some of whom I've actually talked to nationally, and I can just vouch for your awesome staff.
Yeah, I'm mainly attacked by jealous people, but also they've got operatives. They just don't have people sitting in restaurants listening to people talk about their favorite football team, and just creating the idea that we're all terrorists. Tell us the story.
Yeah, and real quick before that, if you want to get into the mindset of the uber elite of the Royal Empire, everyone needs a little time off. If you go back and watch basically most of Braveheart, you know, where he talks about the problem with Scotland is there are too many Scots, and so they weed them out with prima notae. Well, that's what's happening with the vaccines and the GMOs, and also watch The Tudors, maybe a series like that, and you really get into the mindset of by any means possible, not just any means available. They're using every tool at their disposal, so I'm glad that you are as well. We didn't stay
in power by being faint of heart. Engineer the food to sterilize and kill them. We will win. I mean, we're already deep into their extermination. But, I mean, tell me the story.
Yeah, the Subversion and Obfuscation Department. Anyway, the story is that, so there's a fellow, someone that I know, and they were out celebrating. They're disabled, and they have a hard time getting around. They took a little spill off of their bar stool accidentally, and it was, you know, he knew it was time to go anyway, and but he hurt his arm and needed his arm for his apparatus to get home, and people wanted to call the ambulance. He said, no, it's not like that. Just I need to get a cab or whatever. The bartender didn't want to just call up a cab and put a drunken, disabled person in there. And then, lo and behold, two strapping young bucks step up and they said, you know, we're going that way without even knowing where he lived. We can give him a ride home. And this is a guy whose roommate, one of his good friends, had no other option financially with his student loans but to take a job for the DHS. And as you remember, the protest started nationally here in Madison, Wisconsin, with Scott Walker just axing all the teachers and just stripping collective bargaining rights. And
okay, we're going to have to get the rest of this on the other side, okay? Because I want to the dramatic conclusion of Stasi USA. Straight ahead. All right, we're into hour number 3 here, and I've got to start getting to your phone calls. So we're going to race through them now. That means 1 an hour. No, seriously. Brandon, Brian, David, Derek, John, we're going to get to everybody. Brandon, finishing your story. Okay, so the guy needs help getting home. 2 guys stand up at the bar. They say we're going to help him. It sounds like the beginning of a joke. Tell me the rest of the story.
I'll shorten it up. So they said they basically helped lift him in the car, lift his apparatus in the car, start driving him home, and he realizes, well, they're not going directly to where I live, and he's explaining that, and they go in this roundabout pattern, and they basically say, do you know who we are? And he said, hopefully just some people giving me a ride home. And they said, well, we're with DHS, and we don't like what you've been posting. And they put in a monitoring station at next to our state capitol for all the protests. And they said, if you know what's good for you, basically, if you know what's good for you, you're not going to keep doing that. And, you know, kind of being imposing, and, you know, you're at our mercy, you're handicapped drunk in our car. And then they said, beyond that, he was kind of freaked out, of course, but beyond that, they started pressing him for names of local preppers. So anyone who's got any sort of food, water, or other sorts of self-reliance, they wanted to know about. And I just thought...
these guys are such incredible terrorists, and they love it, though. I mean, look, you can't even go to the Texas seashore now, where I've been going since I was born, without them. They're just harassing everyone and getting in your face and talking to you and bossing you around. And it's like, we're the government, and we actually enjoy this. Can you imagine groping people all day or constantly getting in people's faces? I mean, imagine their shriveled little egos. I mean, imagine how shameful these people are. Oh, my gosh, the country's going to totally collapse. So, I mean, your friend needs to speak out. I mean, did he shut up and get scared? How did the story end?
No, he's been telling the story to myself and other people who all have our library of DVDs. I loan them out. I just write on the box that it came in from InfoWars. I have your big collection, and we get the word out there. Probably time for local cable access, like you say.
Yeah, no, it's time to get really aggressive and call the local police on those guys so there's a record of it. And, I mean, I'd love to see them in some bar or restaurant. I'd say, what's your problem? Don't you understand this is America? You think you can have a covert operation to intimidate people and to create a chilling effect underground? You guys really are the bad guys. And if they try to start intimidating you or something, go, oh, so you're evil. I mean, you think that you're going to win acting like this. Just can you imagine